Namaskara, Bangalore. Good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you to QInfinity 2.0, the Quantiphi annual day celebration in Bangalore for Bangalore and Trivandrum. Trivandrum, make some noise! Can always count on our friends from Trivandrum who have watched Bangalore days and come to Bangalore to spend the day with us here. Thank you very much.
My name is Srinivasan. Thank you very much, everyone. It's a pleasure, privilege, always to be here. So, welcome once again. How many of you were there for QInfinity 1.0 last year? Yeah, that deserves a woo. Okay, good number of people. Don't worry, we have something completely different this year. At least I will say that in the beginning, and then you can figure out by the end of the show whether it was substantively different from last year or not. How do you all like this venue and the setup? Yeah.
So let's move ahead with the evening. And I think as we move ahead, we pause for a moment of reflection, of gratitude, of hope, and of a guiding light that will take us forward. So we move to the traditional diya lighting ceremony. And may I please invite the following members of the Quantiphi family to please come up and help us light the diya. Mrs. Manjula Venkatesh ma'am, Aarti Bhaskaran, Neena Khemani, Lee, and Aisha Moose. Please come up. It's our privilege to have you on stage to light the lamp. Can we keep applauding, please, as the lamp gets lit by the ladies on stage? Speaking of moving on, let's move to the next thing we have at the agenda. After reflection and after gratitude, we have some creative expression. And one of the best forms of creative expression is movement. You're going to see something quite dazzling in front of you. We have an amazing team who are going to come here and entertain you for the next few minutes. And after that, we have something special as well. With a thunderous round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Team Oxygen, the Oxygen Dance Group.
Dangerous. Get it so dangerous. I can't really got. I know you like it fine. That's the damn love of mine.
Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, with a thunderous round of applause, Mithali Raj. Welcome, how are you? Yeah, and to steer this conversation forward, we have our very own co-founders, Vivek Khemani and Asif Hassan on stage. Round of applause. Please take your seats. Over to you.
So, Mithali, thank you very much for coming on behalf of Quantiphi. We heard all the accolades about you. And so you've been a trailblazer in your career. And over 2 decades, you've demonstrated remarkable resilience, passion, stamina, consistency, all of these attributes that make a champion. These are also the attributes that actually are required for success in business. So over the next 30 to 45 minutes, both Vivek and I will try and unpack your career, see if we can have some takeaways for our team over here. And you can see there are a few props here. So we're going to try and put a little bit of a twist. Maybe Vivek can talk a little bit about the format we'll follow, and then we'll get started.
So Mithali, we cannot, do this without thinking of cricket, right? and but we can't take everybody to a stadium right now. So we thought that we'll get a little bit of the pitch here, right? And what better way to do this, to start this, but to do it with a toss, right? So,
We are tossing to.
so I think Asif has the answer to that question. Asif, what are we tossing to?
We are tossing, basically, okay, let's say it like this. If you win the toss, we will throw good length balls. Otherwise, we'll try and throw some googlies at you.
I'm very bad. My percentage of losing toss is pretty high.
But as we see from the statistics, you have a knack for winning as well.
That's a different thing. The result is we end up winning the game. But usually it is that, I go in with the notion that I'm anyway going to do what the opponent want me to do because they are going to win the toss.
So that means your career is not about luck; it's about perseverance.
Well, toss, definitely. I have never had the luck, yeah.
All right. Do we have the coin?
All right, do we have a coin?
That was pretty much the way I used to spin the coin in the World Cup because it used to be such a huge coin and I was never good in flipping it.
Okay, we will try. What do you call?
I call heads.
All right.
There you go. You
Okay.
lost.
You win. Well, I can say from a distance she can quickly recognize whether she win the toss or not.
Well,
So
he won
that's
the
a bunch
toss.
of practice.
Technically, he lost the toss. I didn't win the toss. He lost the toss.
That's a
That's
great
called
way of
mind
looking at
games.
it.
That's called mind games, Asif.
Exactly.
So, Mithali, let's go into so we spoke about the start of your, cricketing career, but just about the career itself, right? Highest ever run scorer in the women's cricket, more than 10,000 runs across the various formats. Um, you know, a few hundred ODIs, a few dozen T20s, several Test matches. One of the longest career as as an Indian captain, several World Cup representations. I mean, all of this cannot only happen because of the kind of start that you had, right? I mean, could you sort of share what makes you such a consistent performer in your game? And, what do you think we should all take away in terms of ourselves as, professionals, ourselves as a company? Like, what is the secret for your consistency?
Um, I think I never wanted to be an occasional brilliance. I feel that I felt this in my first series when I got picked in '99 for the England tour, and though now it's an official thing that I scored 100 on debut, but that entire series didn't go really well apart from the 100. And I thought that would be my last series for India. So I was really heartbroken and disappointed when I came back home. And I told my mother, I said, that is it. I think just one series wonder I would be for India. And that's when I realized that, all the effort that I've put in was not for just one series. I wanted to really cement my place. For the 2000 World Cup, I had to go and play a domestic tournament, which was coinciding with my 12th boards. And like everybody else, I was preparing since a month to give my boards. And I didn't want to fall behind in my academic year. Like back then, everybody felt like 1 year you are behind, it's like you're a disappointment and you're a loser. So I didn't want it that in my friend circle. So when this thing came up, I said I want to give my 12th, and my father said, "You'll go and play the tournament. 12th you can always give even in October, September, October, or the following year in March, April. But World Cup doesn't come; it comes in once in 4 years. So you miss this, you'll have to wait for 4 years, and 4 years is a long time. In a professional career, you can end up doing anything." It took me a week to get my head around the fact that I'm going to miss my 12 boards. And but then at that point, I had a pretty tough talk with myself. I said, if I'm going to miss my 12 boards, then I will crack it into the Indian team. Not be in the sidelines of, say, 12th or 13th or giving water. I said, I will be in the 11. That's what I will do if I'm going to, let go my 12th. But there was no guarantee. That's just a talk I had with myself. But I still have to go there, perform, and get picked in the probables, and then perform, and then get picked in the 50. I think as a young kid, when you talk to yourself with so much of conviction, you don't know what is going to happen, but it's just a talk. But with so much of conviction, I think eventually it pans out, and it did for me. And since then, I've ended up playing 6 ODI World Cups. But I guess. It's never easy. You'll always find yourself on the crossroads through your life. But if you have your goal and ambitions, your choices should be in a way that it takes you closer to your goal. It's just not playing for India and I miss out my training and go and go for a school excursion. It's not helping. That's not the choice one should do if you're aiming for something big.
Guys, can we have a
Big round of applause, please, for Mithali and co-founders. Can I ask Ritesh and Raghu to come up on stage, please, for a quick.
नहीं प्रेजेंट बोलेगा हर कोई 100% बोलेगा हर घर में गेम का शोर बोलेगा हर शाम
And for that, we move into the next segment, which is our fireside chat with our beloved founders. So let me call Vivek, Ritesh, Raghu, Asif, all of you on stage, please. Gentlemen.
I like the previous role better if I get to ask the questions.
Of course. Okay, let's begin. I want to first ask you guys a little bit about the famed origin story of Quantiphi. Firstly, someone, maybe Vivek, you start us off and tell us how the four of you kind of know each other. How did this come to be? And was it like one moment, one spark that happened and you all said, let's start Quantiphi? What actually happened?
Finally, it was around 2011-12 timeframe when I think we had all spent over a decade in the industry learning very, very different things. I mean, I guess that's the interesting part about our story. We had such deep-rooted history of being together and having a very common value system, which I would say was finished very well with a very diverse professional career pre-Quantify, right? And I think finally in 2012-13, which is when I think we had all reached, and that I would say is the big load of luck, right? We had all reached our diverse careers at the same point where we said that, okay, now is the time to create an amazing company. So I think that's how we started.
Fantastic, fantastic. So it's, sometimes you read about two people in a garage flipping a coin and starting a company. Those are stories, those are legends, but this is as real as it gets, right? So Ritesh, Raghu, I mean, either of you can start. Let me ask you, when you all started, how scary was it, or how uncertain was it to start off in a very untested, uncharted space? Because there were several proven examples. I mean, 13 years ago, the software services industry was very mature in India. There were several big examples of success. Product companies were still up and running, but again, there was a reasonable model that people kind of had around these things. But what y'all betted on and what y'all tried to build was something very different, right? So give us a little bit of insight of the thought process and the kind of uncertainty that loomed when you started something like that.
So I'll go first, but first I want to call out to Bangalore. I think Bangalore office started 5 years after Mumbai, and we thought Bangalore will follow the success of Mumbai, but Bangalore had different plans. They recoded their success, and today they stand neck to neck with Mumbai in terms of the strength. So cheers to that. So they really recoded to rise, and they are living example of showing that attitude every day. So thank you, Bangalore. I think the simple answer is that, we actually came with about 15 years of experience before we started this. So we were at a point where the customers were asking, what is this cloud, what is machine learning. So the trends were in front of us, right? And we had an option of building that capability where we were working or coming out and doing it for ourselves, right? So there was a little bit of that advantage of being in the industry and knowing this is coming. So that was the part that, we kind of had that intuition that this is going to be something very, very big, right? But what makes it very easy is doing with friends, right? So it was pretty much like that. I think having friends who are doing this and telling to the family, I think we had an excellent family who supported that decision. So cheers to that as well for all the support that we get in doing this. But yeah, I think it was actually not a very hard decision to do it.
And also that's from the very deeply personal inside out angle. What about the outside in angle to this? Through my journey, right? I mean, all through my journey, personal journey, there is always this itch for entrepreneurship. And then whenever I used to discuss this with people, whom I felt I should ask this question, few of them said, before you start something entrepreneurial, think about what you want to do, put a plan, have a clear cut idea of where you're going, have a focus, this, blah, blah, blah. But then, when I met these three folks, it was about, hey, none of this matters, we just start. Right? Then we figure out how it goes. I think that was the starting point. But that is so true if you look at the way the journey story of Quantiphi is. Right? The very initial stage, everything that we see in front of us that is going to give us business is a business.
It's business. Yeah.
Right? That's the starting point. But through the years, we honed in on something called specialization. It took a while. It is not like from day one we knew where we are today. Right? That is not the case, and that is the real truth. There was initial years of specialization that took us to where we are. I'm going to slightly change track. We'll keep interspersing some of these anecdotal stuff, but Ritesh briefly alluded to how the Bangalore office, of course, has recoded itself and so on, and we have recoded to rise as our theme for the evening. And the essence of the theme is how 2025 has been a pivotal year, a transformative year, coming off the back of possibly 24 to 30 very challenging months, right? What are some moments in 2025 that you think have left such an indelible impact that's going to be felt for many years to come now?
See, I think 2025 was different in the sense that in the past we have been very used to hyper growth, right? 50+%. And then in 2023, the market became uncertain. ChatGPT came out in November of 2022, and half of our business was AI. And most customers felt, hey, there's this new wave of AI, so let's stop doing the old wave of AI, right? So that created a lot of disruption in our business. And we had tried a few different things to essentially catch the wave. And all along, we kept feeling we are doing the right thing. What changed in 2025 was that the market started to converge around the ideas that we have. So when there is a new technology wave that hits, in the first year, you will see a lot of learning, a lot of acumen building. And this is the time when consulting companies, advisory companies like McKinsey will go in and educate boards. But the engineers don't have a real say. In the second year, you will see pilots, proof of concepts. So the deal volume goes very high, but the business doesn't increase because these are all very small opportunities. In the third year, people start taking big swings. These are the innovators who have proven that this works, and they start taking big swings. And when that happens, then it creates a FOMO in the people who are not doing it, right? And so there is a lot of convergence of what we were specializing in that happened in 2025 that created that momentum. So, right, that was essentially one of the things we realized, that we were kind of right all along, but we were early. The market was not there. And that's when all the elements of our strategy started to work, right? So that was the big inflection point from my perspective. Of course, we very consistently followed through on the strategy that we had set in early 2024. And we've ran it all the way through 2025, and we are not changing the path, but we were doing this all along, right? But the external forces actually help create that momentum.
Right, right. You want to add anything to that?
No, yeah, I mean, I want to say that the big proof point, I would say, right, is about compounding, right? So none of the things that we are going after can happen with small efforts over a short period of time. What they need is a consistent effort over a long period of time,
Right.
right? So it's pretty much like investing into a systematic
SIP,
investment
yeah.
plan, right?
Yeah.
So I think we are now able to see the proof points in that. So I think the belief in the power of compounding is probably the strongest at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I will call out each of their names, and by the decibel levels of your cheers, we will decide who has won this rapid fire round. Okay? So we will go in the same order so that we eliminate recency bias and such complicated concepts. Ritesh! Raghu! This is fully because you've gamed all the Lalaton fans in Trivandrum first only and like got up their support.
He can't even name 10 movies of Mohanlal. 10 movies also he can't name.
That is the fixer part. That was the fixer part. Asif! Vivek! Okay, I think the undisputed winner for today is our man from Trivandrum, Raghu Hariharan.
Yeah, I think the winner is Quantiphi. I think yesterday in Mumbai somebody said I think the winner is Quantiphi.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We had pretty much the same session in Quantify Mumbai yesterday with the Mumbai team, and of course, like we said earlier, Mumbai is an older team, but Bangalore and Trivandrum, you guys have been here and you guys have been super receptive, super enthusiastic. So thank you all very, very much. And with the founders on stage, let me say this. Thank you guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Big round of applause to our 4 co-founders. Thank you. All right, fabulous. And I think that pretty much brings us to the end of the formal programming for today. There is, of course, a lot more lined up. We have a fabulous music act that's coming up. Before all that, it's my pleasure and privilege to invite Bangalore's own superstar and my very dear friend, Vishal Bhaskaran, to deliver the word of thanks. Can we have a mic for Vishal, please?
So I'm between you and the bar, so I'll try and make it quick. The first thing I want to say thank you. All of this beautiful arrangement, this lovely celebration, it's possible because of each one of you contributing and solving what matters. I'm truly, truly grateful for everything that all of you do. So really, thank you to all of you. All right? Have a great evening ahead, folks. Thank you.
We're going to have a superb music performance here, and for that we're going to be clearing out a bunch of chairs.
Hey guys, hello everyone. This is my first ever time in Bangalore. जब से यहाँ आया मैं एक चीज़ है, मुझे लगा जान कोई भी people in Bangalore are yes, right example. Oh, you're from Mumbai, आ रहे हैं. It's you Mumbai, very nice. लेकिन जैसे कि वो stage one आएगा कि देखने के बाद पहली नज़र कैसा जादू कर दिया तेरा बन बैठा है मेरा जिया जाने क्या होगा क्या पता इस पल को मिलके आज ले जरा मैं हूँ यहाँ तू है वहाँ मेरी बाहों में आ उठा ओ जाने जा तो जा मेरी बाहों में आ उठा dream.